Hello, I'm Sebastian. Welcome to Nine Trees podcast. Today, I will summarize and review the book. The Man Who Solved the Market by Gregory Zuckerman chronicles the rise of Jim Simons, a brilliant mathematician who transformed finance by proving that disciplined pattern finding could outperform human hunches. The book follows Simons from his early academic work in code breaking and geometry to his founding of Renaissance Technologies, the secretive firm behind the Medallion Fund, widely regarded as one of the most successful investment vehicles in history. Rather than portraying success as a simple tale of genius, Zuckerman emphasizes the messy reality of building a quant powerhouse, recruiting unconventional talent, testing ideas relentlessly, managing egos, and defending a data-driven culture against Wall Street traditions. Along the way, the narrative explains how quantitative investing evolved from a fringe experiment into a dominant force reshaping markets, competition, and regulation. It also explores the costs of secrecy, the ethical and social questions raised by extreme financial advantage, and the philanthropic legacy Simons pursued beyond trading. I will give you key takeaways from this book. Firstly, from mathematician to market outsider, a central thread is how Jim Simons' background prepared him to approach markets differently from traditional financiers. The book highlights a career shaped by mathematics, government research, and academic leadership, arenas where rigorous proof, experimentation, and collaboration matter more than charisma. That orientation made him skeptical of standard Wall Street narratives about intuition, relationships, and discretionary calls. Zuckerman shows Simons as someone drawn to hard problems and willing to be wrong publicly as long as the evidence improved. This matters because it frames the origin of the quant revolution as an outsider project. Rather than learning markets first and adding math later, Simons brought scientific habits into finance and demanded that markets be measured, modeled, and challenged like any other complex system. The topic also sets up the personal traits that recur throughout the story: impatience with vague thinking, a high tolerance for experimentation, and a competitive streak that pushed him to seek edge where others assumed none existed. The result is a foundation for understanding why Renaissance Technologies would prioritize research talent over trading pedigree and why its culture would collide with Wall Street norms. Secondly, building Renaissance Technologies and a research-driven culture. The book emphasizes that Renaissance Technologies was not just a firm with clever models, but an organization engineered to produce and protect insight. Zuckerman describes how Simons recruited mathematicians, statisticians, physicists, and programmers, and created an environment where ideas were tested aggressively and authority came from results. This topic focuses on the managerial and cultural choices that allowed quantitative methods to compound, assembling interdisciplinary teams, investing in computing, refining data pipelines, and iterating models through constant evaluation. It also covers the challenges of turning research into a reliable production process. Hiring brilliant people creates friction, and the firm had to manage competition, confidentiality, and strong personalities while maintaining shared standards. The narrative shows that many breakthroughs came less from a single formula than from organizational learning, where small improvements across signals, execution, and risk controls added up. Renaissance also pursued secrecy as a strategic asset, limiting information flow to reduce imitation and internal leakage. The payoff was a machine-like research environment that treated trading as an engineering problem, enabling consistent refinement even when individual strategies decayed or market conditions shifted. Thirdly, the medallion approach, patterns, probabilities, and relentless iteration. At the heart of the story is the idea that markets can exhibit exploitable patterns, even if those patterns are subtle, short-lived, and noisy. Zuckerman presents Medallion as a system built on probabilistic forecasting rather than confident predictions, where thousands of small edges can combine into remarkable performance when managed carefully. This topic explores the general mechanics of that worldview, using large datasets, searching for repeatable signals, stress testing them across time, and controlling for overfitting and false discovery. The book conveys that success depended on constant iteration, because once patterns become known or conditions change, edges can shrink. That created an ongoing arms race of research and infrastructure. Another key aspect is that quantitative success is not only about finding signals, but also about execution and risk management. Transaction costs, crowding, and drawdowns can erase theoretical advantage if not handled with discipline. Medallion is portrayed as effective because it integrated research, trading, and risk controls into a single feedback loop, allowing the firm to adapt quickly and maintain performance through diverse market environments. Fourthly, competition, secrecy, and the spread of the quant revolution. The book situates Renaissance within a broader shift in finance as data and computing transformed investing. Zuckerman shows how the success of quantitative approaches attracted talent and capital, spawning competitors and changing how institutions operate. This topic examines the consequences of that spread. As more firms adopt similar tools, markets can become more efficient in certain areas, while new vulnerabilities emerge from crowded trades and correlated strategies. Renaissance's response was to guard methods tightly, restrict access to its most successful fund, and design internal controls to limit information leakage. The narrative also highlights the tension between innovation and imitation. Techniques that work can be copied, but copying is hard without the same culture, data, and infrastructure. Meanwhile, the rise of quants altered hiring patterns, raised the premium on engineers and researchers, and shifted power away from traditional traders. The topic also addresses how quant dominance changes market behavior, sometimes increasing speed and complexity and raising questions about stability during stress. In this view, Simon's impact is not only his returns, but the industry transformation that followed. Lastly, ethics, influence, and life beyond trading. Zuckerman also explores what extreme market success means for society and for the individuals involved. This topic looks at the ethical and political debates surrounding quantitative trading, including perceptions of unfair advantage, market impact, and the role of sophisticated firms in modern capitalism. The book portrays Simons as a figure who combined intense competitiveness with a desire to fund science and education at a scale few can match. His philanthropy and public engagement illustrate how financial innovation can translate into broader influence, raising questions about responsibility and legacy. Another element is the internal human cost of high-performance environments: pressure, secrecy, conflicts, and the difficulty of balancing personal ambition with collective goals. The story suggests that building a firm like Renaissance required not only intellect, but also tough choices about governance, compensation, and control. By widening the lens beyond trading, the book invites readers to consider how quant methods shape markets and how the wealth generated can be used, defended, or challenged in public life. In conclusion, this book suits readers who enjoy business biographies, finance history, and stories about how scientific thinking disrupts established industries. It is also valuable for students and professionals in data science, engineering, economics, or investing who want a narrative view of how quantitative methods became central to modern markets. The main benefit is perspective. It clarifies that extraordinary results usually come from systems, culture, and iteration, rather than a single genius insight. Readers can apply the lessons to their own work by emphasizing measurement, feedback loops, disciplined experimentation, and team design that rewards evidence over hierarchy. Compared with many investing books that focus on stock picking, personal habits, or broad market philosophies, this one stands out for explaining the organizational and technological foundations behind quantitative edge and the competitive dynamics that can erode it. It also helps demystify a famously secretive corner of Wall Street without pretending the story is a step-by-step recipe. If you want an engaging account of how math and computing reshaped finance, along with thoughtful attention to the trade-offs of secrecy, power, and influence, it is a worthwhile purchase among modern market narratives. If you would like to support Gregory Zuckerman, you can buy the book through the Amazon link I've provided in the podcast description. After reading the book, please let me know what you think and share your thoughts. See you around.